This video we're going to have another book review, and the book is Astra Firearms by Leonardo M. Antares. Now, when people ask me all these questions and they want me to give them some technical information, a lot of the information comes out of these books, and yes, these books are quite expensive, so let's take a look at the book a little closer up. Alright, my battery was running low, so I had to cut the intro a little short, but here we go, Astra Firearms. This book here is a companion book to the one I bought on Astra Firearms, okay, written by the same individual. He actually went to Spain and did a lot of research over there to compile these books. Yes, both of these books go for about $180 delivered. They're highly professionally done. There is a ton of valuable information in here, and it is written probably the most concise and accurate information you can find on Spanish-made guns. This is something, if you're really a serious collector and you really want to know what you're doing, what you're buying, and everything else, these books are invaluable, and that's why I got them. They're very well written, a lot of illustrations in here. Now, both of these books in the first part talk about Spain, the history of Spain, politics, and history of Spanish gun making. And it took me a few hours to read through these chapters, but it gives you insight and an explanation into what goes on. There's a ton of photographs of really rare and unusual guns. It even covers these Jolo AR pistols. There's some information in here about them, which I had. If you collect Spanish guns, they talk about the different manufacturers and how all this stuff came through. They give you a history of the factory and all that. And there's some photographs in here and descriptions of some pretty unusual and hard to find guns, like these here. This is where the value of this comes in, okay? Is you can look at something, you can look at a very clear illustration or photograph of a weapon and get an idea of what you're dealing with, even from an online auction photograph, okay? Bergman pistols, a lot of information in here. And once we get through Campo Grias, okay, I had no info. I had one of these guns. Now I got an idea and some reference material to identify the weapon and go over it. And then, of course, our famous Astra pistols and all the different models. And it shows you how they develop and that serial numbers and runs. See, this is another thing. Covering the serial numbers. It gives you the date, where it was manufactured and at. Lots of nice photos. Okay. So this is where I get a lot of my information from, and some unusual ones like that. And the information in here is very accurate. He went over and researched at the different factories, got all the information in that, and illustrations, old demonstrations. And what's nice about this is a lot of these guns are not military, they were just imported. A lot of the pocket pistols are covered in here, the Spanish pocket guns. There's a ton of different models in here. The one I bought for the Star covered mainly the military, and Star did a lot of business with the military and police. So Star kind of had that wrapped up where Astra and the different companies that formed a group or conglomerate made a lot of civilian guns, okay, like the Constable and that. And instead of just hearsay rumors, like I recently did a video on an A60, and there's 2 different versions of the Constable, and it covers that, explains in detail why, and in here you can run your serial numbers and get the year manufactured, and it has all the production records listed here. So it's pretty neat, pretty good, comprehensive book. Now, a lot of the Spanish-made 22s are popular, and yes, the stars are covered there, but a lot of interesting guns as we go through. So that gives you an idea of what you're getting for your $180. All right, I thought I'd show you some more. This covers the shotguns that they made, revolvers, a lot of these Spanish revolvers. You'll still find these. Gives you production numbers, and even pocket guns and all the variations. There's also prototypes and some pretty strange stuff in here. The Astra made a copy of the Mauser broom handle, and that's also covered in this book. There are other books out there that give you some information, but these here, I mean, just for the photographs, they have copies of the old advertisements, mechanisms. Makes this book well worth it. It explains how these were all being sent to China because of an arms embargo back in the 20s or something. And shows you how they competed in the market and a lot of other things. So, very well worth it. I mean, a lot of nice high detail photographs. Alright, so here are the 2 books the guy wrote. They cover just about most of the Spanish pistols you'll run into, which, by the way, are becoming quite popular and collectible, and the price of them keeps going up, you know. So if you're really going to be seriously into collecting Spanish guns, these 2 books are what you need. And for those of you that really don't get deep into it or really are that serious of a collector, when you keep sending me emails asking me for information, it's just about $400 worth of reference material here for me to answer your question accurately, correctly, and give you the proper advice. So, unlike an app that you get for free, there are some expenses involved here, and any of the donations that I get or support from anyone goes towards, you know, keeping my reference library and my material up to date. So, if you like the video, you know, subscribe, hit the like button. There's a link to my Patreon account down below in the description box, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And like I said, if you really want to get serious and educate yourself, these 2 books are invaluable when it comes to collecting Spanish handguns.